Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Sorry, I've been reading today's paper. Port Adelaide versus the Crows. Oh, Port Adelaide won 80 points to 58 points. What a game that was. We had 2 rounds left to the end of the home way season. 2 games left. And it was Port versus the rivalry, the Crows, the nemesis. I don't mind the Crows. I just don't like some arrogant players they have, like Josh Rochelle. Oh, this is like a mini grand final to us. Grand final? Do you even know what finals is, Rochelle? The last team the Crows played in a final, you were still in your mudundies and your mum was changing your diapers. And then you have the audacity to go on radio and say Port Adelaide don't have teeth or something like that. Okay, I'm be the first to put up my hand. I've lost one tooth myself, somewhere at the back there. And then what do? You kick a goal and you point to your teeth to the crowd. In what was that, the second quarter? And what'd you do for the rest of the game? What, 10 touches? You're a joke. You talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk. You let your team down. As much as this was a grand final to you, you did patates, Rochelle. Absolutely patates. I was there live. There was over 50,000 people there with me at that game. And from that first bounce, that first quarter was terrible umpiring. I don't complain about the umpiring, and I never will complain about umpiring. But that game was absolutely shonkers in that first quarter of umpiring. Free kicks that were given away. Free kicks that weren't given away. I think Crows had an extra 8 free kicks to us in that first quarter. Razor Ray Ramon, you need to retire. You're such a... Anyway, second, third, fourth quarter, the wheels were in motion. And I'm just glad that we won at the end there. We had to win that game. And a special shout out to the Crows, because giving us that win secured top 4 for us this year. But don't worry, you'll be bottom 4 this year and you'll get a high draft pick. I'm not sure what you're going to do with that draft pick, but hopefully you get someone good to join your team. But it was hot from the bounce, the crowd. The crowd were hostile, especially when Josh Rochelle touched the ball. Typical. There was some chants out there with foul language towards him. I'm not going to repeat it. But if you want to know what they were, I've got some footage and I'll send it to you through direct message for those who want to watch it. But it was tough. We won and we got those 4 valuable points. Going into that game, I was a bit sketchy because we had no tall forwards. Georgiades, who's our leading goal kicker, who's playing great form the last few weeks, hasn't played the last 2 weeks. And I thought, where are our goals going to come from? Marshall, concussed last week, so he had this week off. Another of our consistent forwards down. But the Crows didn't have their big man, Tex Walker. As much as Tex Walker's not the player he was last year, he's still a solid unit. I'll give him that. And I was talking to a Crows fan, supporter, Walker lover boy, and I said, Walker's not playing. He said, don't worry. We've got Gallant coming in. Gallant kicked 6 goals in the SANFL last week. He'll come in for Walker. Don't worry. Gallant. Kick cuts to Gallant, mate. You did nothing. He got 7 touches the whole game. He was the lowest scoring player out of every player on the field. Oh, Gallant. Go back to the SANFL. Just because you kicked 6 goals one week, you got 7 touches this week and you kicked 1 point. I do think our forward line needs improvement. Dixon, as much as he's a solid unit, he's done. He's washed up. He won't be playing next year. We need a new big young power forward in this side. that's going to take control. And Radigalia, get back to defence. For the last few weeks, I don't even think you've kicked a goal. He's a solid player, strong player, but he cannot kick goals. Put him back in the defence. Please, please, please. Box Hinckley. You want to know why I call him Box Hinckley? Because it's his selections. Radigalia is not a forward. You tried it for a couple of weeks. You got desperate because you had a few tall forwards out. Put him back in defence where he belongs. Hopefully we get Georgiades back next week. And we'll definitely be able to get Marshall back next week. So we'll see what our forward line will look like next week. This is going to be my my tips or my views or how the selection should happen. I think they need to bring both Marshall and Georgiades back into the side and play them both as forward. Burden will go back to the half-back flank to replace the rocket ship. We'll talk about him later. So we'll have our three forwards will be Dixon, Marshall, and Georgiades, with Radigalia going back into defence himself as well, because it's done with him as a forward. So we need to improve our forward line. We didn't kick many points overall. Most of our midfielders and small forwards were kicking the goals. Of course, Darcy Byrne-Jones did his 2% every week. I think he kicked 2 goals. So he did 4% this week. But the other 98% of the game, you don't even see him. So he'll get his side. Rioli, he was playing not that well the first half of football. But that second half, he did the CM Punk go to sleep and put the Crows back to bed and got them packing with that goal towards the end. So Radigalia, back in defence. Rioli, you did well. Now, let's talk about the Houston incident. I like Isaac Rankin. Isaac Rankin is a great footballer. I'd love to have Isaac Rankin in our team. Isaac Rankin was part of that super draft year with other excellent superstars. The likes of Zach Butters, Connor Rosie, and what's his name? Chase Jones. Oh, what a great player that he is. But things were fired up. We had to win that game to get top 4. And Houston elected to bump. He should have tackled him. It was a hard bump. Rankin's a little midget. He's probably as tall as me. He's a soft player. And when you got Houston, boom. I knew that was a great bump, but it's a dangerous bump from the AFL. It didn't look like he made contact with the head, but the fact that he knocked him clean off his feet and he hit the floor, that's going to be seen as dangerous. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Houston's gone straight to the tribunal. Rankin kind of did a similar incident. I think he got 4 weeks, but that was off the ball incident. This was actually in play. Rankin had the ball. Houston went too hard. If that was someone like Philthorpe, he wouldn't have fallen over. But Houston, if you're going to go 100 kilometers an hour against a small forward who's made of skin and bones, he's going to drop like a sack of potatoes. So Houston's going to get a few weeks. We'll see what the AFL do or the tribunal do and how many weeks he'll get. But this happens in football. Some players get injured. Some players you lose through suspension. So we're not going to have Houston, I don't think, for most of the finals. I even think he'll even make it to the grand final if we make it to the grand final. So this is an opportunity that Houston's position at the half-back flank will be available. Burden's back inside. Let's put Burden back in the half-back flank. We can mend that. We can work on that. If that was Zach Butters, man, I would be in intensive care if I saw Zach Butters do that. So I'm not... Look, it's difficult to lose a player, but this happens in football. I do hope Rankin is all right. Like I say, I do have a soft spot Rankin. I think he is a great player. What else? Let's talk about the man of the moment. This man here. Zach Butters. Zach Butters, man. What a game. 42 disposals in that game. 42. He broke the record of the most disposals in a showdown at 42. He beat Prosciutto's record of 41. Showdown medalist. Massive 3 Brownlow points there. Unstoppable. Great game, Zach Butters. And to think about it, like, we got Zach Butters at, I think it was like pick 12 in the national draft. Pick 12 we got him for. Can you believe it? We got him at pick 12. And you know what's more ironic? The Crows had pick, I think it was 9 in that draft. 3 picks before us. But they got Chase Jones. Chase Jones. You got Chase Jones at pick 9. Thanks for that. We appreciate you slipping this one a fair few down the the positions there in the draft. What a pickup, what a player. Jason Horne-Francis, always is going to get a mention. He has to. He has to get a mention. What a great small forward midfielder he is. Takes the game on. He's a machine. I think he kicked 2 goals. We had to rely on our midfielders. Because our tall forwards, with Coach Cornflakes as the forward coach, our tall forwards are shonky. If we had a power forward like a Curnow or a Jesse Hogan or even a Ben King, we would be top of the league. Our forward line, let's see, Georgiades comes back in. Let's see he does something. It's a shame that the Crows didn't win their little mini grand final. But they helped us secure top 4. So we're definitely top 4. No matter what happens next week, we'll finish either 2nd or 3rd. Now the question will be, do we finish 2nd, get the home ground advantage? Or do we finish 3rd? So it looks like we'll play GWS. More likely, 90% certainty we'll play GWS. There is a slight 10% that Geelong might finish 3rd or 2nd, but they need a win, which I think they will. They're playing West Coast, and they need a good percentage boost. So we've got Freo next week. It'll be the Master versus the Apprentice once again. In Jason Horne-Francis as the Apprentice versus Nate Fife, his Master. So we'll see how that goes, that game. If we win, we get top 2 and secure top 2. Watch my other videos. I don't rate our team well. We have no spine. We have no spine. We have great midfielders, S-tier midfielders. Our forward line and our defence, though, they're B-C grade. No A grade there in our defence. So I don't know how this team, I still can't get over how this team is currently sitting 2nd on the ladder. We haven't had a tough draw in the last few weeks. We have had a tough draw in the last few weeks. And we've won, 5 in a row now? So, keep going. Look, we are lucky. We don't have any major injuries. I think our big one is only Sam Powell-Pepper, that I'd say is probably now starting 22. That's out with an ACL. We've got our ruckman, who hasn't even come back in the side yet, with Soldo. I don't know what's going to happen there. Are they going to bring Soldo back? That's a big question. That is a big question, because Soldo is a great player. He's actually our first ruck. He got injured. Jordan Sweet came in, now taking that position. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Soldo. Are they going to play him as a tall forward? Are they going to play him as a sub? Who knows? Then we've got players like those who should not be mentioned. Francis Evans. He played okay as a B grader, as a top-up player. He kicked at least 1 goal. Jace Burgoyne, the biggest B grader we've got. Guess what? He kicked a goal. He finally kicked a goal. I think this is his 2nd goal this season. But it's been a while since he's kicked a goal. And it's the only type of goal that Jace Burgoyne can kick. That far off the line. He even kicked it with his shin. He was that far off from actually just hitting his stomach and going over the line. But he kicked a goal. He's doing okay for a kid. As much as I give Jace a bit of grief, he's trying hard. He is trying hard. He's not an X-Factor player, but he's doing well. The other players in the side, they all pulled their part in the game. All did their role. Leah, people say, I can't believe Leah has been All-Australian. Watch that game. Watch that game and you can see why he was an All-Australian with Leah. They had some Phil Thorpe. Didn't do much. Rochelle. Nothing. Gallant. Even worse. The miracle. The saviour of Gallant. Tore him to shreds. It was a low-scoring game. We've got Fremantle next week. So hopefully we beat Freo. And that will secure us top 2. I'll see you all in my next video.